Coming up on this episode of The Village Idiom.
Very specific.
I bought a pet snake. He's a very picky eater. Only eats burgers, hot dogs, sloppy joes. Apparently, my anaconda don't want none unless he's got buns, son.
Dum dum da da, Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every week
chooses
a popular saying.
Never
Take
missed a week.
Shallow, hopefully comedic, once in a while interesting dive into its meaning, its usage, its origins. But we're also going to use it to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on. My name
is Anthony Jeselnik.
is Jurassic Mark.
That was the...
To my side.
You're doing the sloth from...
Well, I know that a lot of people listen to their podcast at twice the speed.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, for those listeners,
this should
try triple the speed.
As normal. So anyways, as we move along through the podcast, it's important that you pay attention to every little last detail so that you don't miss a thing.
Exactly. That.
What speed do you listen at?
I listen to everything at twice the speed.
I'm 1.7.
I sometimes go to 3.
Oh, wow. I'm a 1.7. And it's tricky when you're listening to like a Ben Shapiro.
Oh, yeah. He's 1.5. Yeah, totally.
1.7 as high as I go.
I listen to him. I have it preset for all podcasts at 2, and just the odd one is at 3.
I try to make sure I listen to
but
a
there's
variety
some crime ones where I gotta slow down because I'm like,
you don't want to
miss
miss details. Yeah, there's somebody does a great bit about that with I wished I'd had a more HD 4K TV because I feel... Oh, it's Daniel Tosh. He's like, I had to get a more higher resolution TV because I felt it was holding me back from answering this, like, or guessing what Grisham was doing in like CSI.
Oh, yeah.
Because he couldn't see enough detail. He felt that was holding him back from correctly getting to solve who killed who faster.
Okay, on that note, I know this is not what we're talking about today, but have you heard of the soap opera effect?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So me and my young adult sons have been going through the new Star Wars series, and most recently, of course, is the Boba Fett book of Boba Fett, and at their house, I'm like, this is too clear. This looks This looks like a skit.
It looks awful.
Yeah, it looks.
The more
bad.
HD it is, the worse it gets.
So I looked into it. I'm like, that's so annoying. I came back and watched an episode. Not to give anything away, with no spoilers for Boba Fett, but do you know the Power Ranger motorcycles? Have you watched it?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So on their TV, I'm like, these look like those coin-operated motorcycles you used to put outside of grocery stores.
Right.
I'm like, they look awful. And
right,
then,
like metallic green paint
yeah,
stuff? Yeah.
That kind of flecky.
Yeah.
And then on my TV, I'm like, it's not so bad.
I think you enjoy it more, or we end up enjoying it more because your brain fills in more pieces than, like, when you see it in reality, it's like, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
But when
you
you
can tell
watch
it's a movie prop.
crappier,
Yeah.
it's actually better.
Yeah. So apparently there's like Tom Cruise came up a lot because I started researching it. I'm like, what is the deal with this? And there's celebrities are like, stop watching your TV in the way, because that's made for sports, and like it's
terrible.
Yeah. So literally the last episode,
It looks fake.
Tyron just flipped his TV to a movie setting.
Okay.
Night and day.
Way better.
Way better.
Yeah, it looks fake.
Yeah.
It, like, you did this in a sound set.
Yeah. I think I could make these props.
Yeah, well, it looks too real. And I don't go to TV for reality.
No.
I have my imagination lit up.
Anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're going to talk about something like this.
Well, she got a little bun in the oven, you know.
That's from In the Heights. Have you seen that? Oh,
No.
You're not really a musical guy, are you?
Definitely not.
Yeah. So,
Nope.
Anyway, Bun in the Oven is where we're going to go today.
It's fantastic. It's always good news when there's a bun in the oven, but
Yeah.
in terms of efficiencies, it is perhaps the worst use of energy to only have one bun in an oven.
Good point.
Like, you should...
Are you in a rush after this? Because I've got a bun in the oven.
Do you?
Yeah, we could split it.
Okay, yeah, exactly. One bun in the oven. Like, that is a misuse of energy. And so often applied to more like in the baby situation.
Yes.
So
For idiom...
and one at a time seems plenty. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. For idiomatic purposes, we've chosen bun in the oven because it does refer to pregnancy. exactly. Got one.
And we've got some great news for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got a bun in the oven. Nope, that's just Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
No, I'm a grandpa.
That
I'm
is
wearing the shirt.
fantastic.
Oh, I didn't even think
You
about
have your grandpa.
I made myself a grandpa shirt
Yeah, your
to go and meet my
your
grandson.
son and daughter.
My grandson Obadiah, who I just told you about Boba Fett, is going, basically he's been called Obi-Wan more than his real name.
It's awesome.
So yeah, grandson, everybody's healthy. He's gorgeous little thing. I've been over to Tyron's house more this week than the past year.
It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, grandpa. You're too young to be a grandpa, right?
Yeah.
I think of grandpa, I think of all like bent over, gray hair.
Right. I was thinking about that. Like, when kids are in preschool, kindergarten, grade 1, and they're told, okay, draw a picture of a grandpa. I mean, there's walkers and canes.
Exactly.
And any coloring book that says
you.
grandpa, it's got the Ring of Fire hairdo, and well, I guess I don't even know that, but
Right.
yeah, I'm like, I
You still have a Ring of Fire.
definitely don't look like a stereotypical out of a coloring book grandpa, but happy to be one.
No, you're more like that Jeff guy from like Tiger King. You know, the guy who ends up taking the zoo from
The biker Harley Davidson guy?
Yeah, you kind of have more of that going for you if that was the grandpa.
He's probably my age.
Head in a bandana.
Oh, I'm not that hardcore.
Nah, but
I'd
as far as cool.
I'd get beat up if I tried that.
As far as cool. You
Is
know,
that cool?
You're pretty cool.
No, is that cool?
No.
No.
That's not cool. That's good
How
for
many-
TV, but
how
that's
many
not cool.
Harley Davidson leather jackets does that guy have?
It's a lot.
Yeah, I think they're all made out of tigers.
Maybe on the inside. That's where all the missing tigers went. That's terrible.
We cannot find where these tigers disappeared to, but he sure has a lot of jackets.
They're looking pretty good. No, there's just an era. And when I was thinking of like eras, for those of you who don't even have to be a sports enthusiast.
I know I'm not.
Did you catch any of the Super Bowl?
I rewatched the halftime show.
The halftime show, specifically what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the geriatric rapper.
It was catered to like the 50s, the 40s, which
I loved it.
and that's what I'm talking about.
So I guess those are more 90s stars, though, right? Like, they've had Kiss as a halftime show.
Yeah. Well, see, but I don't know, how old is Snoop?
Yeah, Snoop
He's
would probably
old.
be the oldest
Well,
there.
I think, was it Mary J.
Hey,
Blige?
Google, how old is Snoop Dogg? 50. He's my age.
He's
Did you
that.
say 50?
We're like
that
in
right?
shock. Well, isn't like Mary J. Blige like 60?
Hey, Google, turn yourself up to 10.
That's terrible. It's like, he's so old. He's 50.
Hey, Google, how old is Snoop Dogg?
He's 50 years old.
50.
Oh my goodness. We just haven't done anything with our
I
lives.
just turned 50.
I just turned 50 as well.
Hey, Google, how old is Mary J. Blige?
51 years old.
51. I
They're
thought she was
our
like
age.
60. Oh, I'm talking about all these geriatrics on screen, and that's us.
Eminem's probably in his 40s. Hey, Google, how old is Eminem?
49 years old.
What?
They're all around the same age, though.
That's so funny. So, anyways, it was like right in our vein of things as far as the music. So I thought it was really entertaining.
Okay, but did 50 Cent look like he was about to blow up?
Well, because he was hanging from the ceiling.
I know. It wasn't a good move.
His head must have been ready to
Like,
explode.
he was just inflating
I understand
with
that
blood.
he was like mimicking the music video or something. That
Oh, there was a reason?
there was a reason for it. Yeah, it wasn't just like, Spider-Man Homecoming, but he was like hanging upside down for like a reason.
Mama in the club. My head's filled with blood.
I gotta pass out. Okay, so and I came across a joke that is like for this older crowd, which apparently I'm now part of.
Okay.
Which was related to buns. So it's a bun age joke. Okay, here we go.
That's very specific.
I bought a pet snake. He's a very picky eater. Only eats burgers, hot dogs, sloppy joes. Apparently, my anaconda don't want none unless he's got buns, son.
That's so stupid. Did you make that up?
No, I came across it looking for bun-related things. And I'm like, oh, that's a very dated reference that you either know or you don't
great.
know.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah. So that was it. That was all that lead-in.
So we're going to get into the origins and whatever, but
Bun in the oven.
before we do, I was like, what qualifies as a bun? Because, like, is everything...
A hoagie.
Yeah, I mean, so I found this website called List Challenges.
A French roll.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
List Challenges. So this particular list challenge was, here's a list of buns. How many have you tried?
Okay.
And it had checkboxes, whatever. And
Okay.
you can keep score. I don't know who.
Yeah,
who's
so you can
playing this
compete
game.
with your friends about what kind of buns you've had.
Exactly. That. So I'm just going to rattle them off as quick as I can. You just say yes or no.
Okay, I have to think about it.
That you've had it.
Sure.
Okay, so dinner rolls.
Of course.
Cinnamon buns.
Of course.
Hot cross buns.
Yes.
Croissant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kaiser roll.
Yes.
Pizza bun.
Oh, well, yeah, pizza. Would pizza pretzel kind of in that vein?
Well, pretzel's coming up.
Okay. Then kind of.
Maybe. Italian panini bun.
Of course.
Ciabatta bun.
Ciabatta bata.
It's a wing ciabatta bun. Cinnamon raisin bagel.
Yeah. Of course.
Blueberry bagel.
Of course.
And everything bagel.
If it's available at Tim Hortons, I've had it.
Plain bagel.
Yep.
Pretzel.
Yep.
Okay, now we're getting a little more obscure as far as I'm concerned. A Scotch bap.
Nope.
Have you heard of it?
Nope. The phrase a bap, yes, but not. I don't
I
recognize.
didn't look it up, but I'm like, I don't know what a Scotch bap is.
Okay.
A sub bun.
Subway.
That'd be like a hoagie, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Onion bun. You know those ones that are like dried onions on the top?
Oh yeah. Okay. For sure.
Crumpet.
Yeah.
English muffin.
Those are delicious.
What's the difference between a crumpet and English muffin?
When I think of crumpet, I think of how much butter can I fill in those little holes. Totally. unless I bite into it and it goes.
And then you just ruin the shirt.
It's like, oh wow, how much butter was in that thing? I can feel my heart slowing.
Well, it makes sense though, because that particular type of bun doesn't absorb. It goes in the holes.
Well, because you fill the holes
The
with
rest
butter.
of the bun is like kind of a weird.
They're
dough,
delicious. I'm craving one now.
right? Okay, English
Wow.
muffin. You said yes.
Well, it's a
It's a crumpet.
no. When I think of an English muffin, I think of like a Mick whatever.
Oh,
That's an English muffin.
wow.
Yeah,
McMuffin.
McMuffin.
Yeah. Cheese bun.
Yes.
Hot dog bun. Hamburger bun.
Yes, of course.
That's it.
Yeah. I don't. There's not a carb that I've met that I haven't tried.
Challenge me on bun. Which buns have I
Which carb
tried?
have you not tried? Yeah.
Well, you win or lose.
Yeah. No, I've gained. Whatever.
We've all gained a little bit.
However it's been. I was doing good. It's mostly COVID weight. It'll come off.
Totally.
Now that things are starting to lighten up a bit around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's just going to melt right off. Yeah.
I'm starting to think it's
I'm
not
mostly
gonna,
COVID weight.
if you just keep blaming it on COVID and the restrictions, it's probably never coming up.
I'm the pessimist. Oh, well. So, yeah.
Anyway.
Speaking of identifying, how would you identify Ronald McDonald at a nudist camp?
He's got sesame seeds on his buns.
Yes.
Is actually?
Yeah, that was the...
I've heard a similar joke.
Okay. It was in the same section as the anaconda.
That's
so,
funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so off topic, but it was just, every once in a while I'll just come find you and go, it's just the joke of the week I heard from someone
this stupid
else.
thing. Yeah.
This was the one that today made me laugh. It's not even a joke. It was a comedian on the guest of the Howie Mandel podcast.
Wow.
And he's like, here's one I use every once in a while. And somebody comes over and his ladder's sitting out in the garage. He's like, oh, actually, that's not my real ladder. That's my step ladder.
Yes. Yeah, I like that one.
I was just like, that's awesome.
You got my real ladder. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
Here's a little one, little Bun in the Oven quote from This Is Us.
But Bun in the Unmarried Oven?
Bun in the Unmarried Oven. It's a great show.
Yeah, that's a Pandora's box to open during the middle of the podcast. The Bun in the Unmarried Oven.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's controversial.
Well, it can be.
It's less and less so in this day and age, unless accidental. Because there's a lot of unmarried people planning to have children compared to, 50 years ago?
It's like that part. Do you think of like I just want the kids, but not the
commitment?
the commitment part, or
Which is weird because the commitment part is
knowing that
pretty helpful
if you
with
have
kids.
The kid part, then regardless of the commitment, you were tied to that person forever.
what's 18 years?
Well, it does if it only ended after 18 years. Yeah, it just keeps going and going, and then then there's the wedding, and then there's the this, and then there's the that. So it's like, and then every Christmas forever, and then every birthday for forever. And so it's interesting with that in our current cultural things. But different cultures are different.
Different cultures are different.
That's why they're different.
Yeah.
If they're all the same, then it would just be the same culture, I guess.
Right. Then it'd be different cultures are the same. No, but it's true. Like, so there's the accidents. That's scary for anybody.
Sure, things happen.
But then there's I think even though culture has changed, some would argue for the better, some would argue for the worse. Forget that conversation. Even though culture has changed, there's still, even in movies and whatever, there's still the marriage tends to come before kids. Even though culture has so drastically changed, at least in North America, you still, like, people could be living together forever, and when they decide to have kids, like, well, let's get married then.
Yeah,
it still comes first. In most cases, not all.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting.
Which is, yeah,
but
it's just like better put a ring on it
if you like it.
Yeah.
But having it's been good. We're both multi-children families, and
yep,
yeah, having buns in the oven. Those are some fun years. Those early years.
Putting buns in the oven.
Yes. Yeah, just when they were little, and all the nonsense, the crazy, the little years.
It's fascinating.
Because you get to go through it again, but just the fun parts.
Yeah.
You're like,
but you're right. Those are like
Obi,
the
you
best.
want to do this?
It's a clear. We'll get into it in Origins. The comparison to bun in the oven and a baby in the womb, but like it's just kind of a miracle. Like first you just put your batter in, and you let it cook up. Turns into a bun.
I don't want to comment on it. This is I don't want to take too a
Do you ever
crazy
just lick
direction.
the batter off the spoon?
No. You get weird things if the batter's not cooked. You can get worms. Yeah, it's not good, or salmonella or something.
Cookie dough, I guess.
Anyway, it's not good.
Should we get into it?
We should leave that topic.
I said some words, where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind.
That's some good scat. So where does it come from?
Well, all right. I didn't make a game for today.
Okay, we've got one
apologize.
choice. I'm feeling my odds are getting better.
We're just going to get into it. We've already talked about the phrase "a bun in the oven" means to be pregnant or expecting a baby. It's an idiom that is used very nonchalantly, and I did discover this before we get into Origins, that there are some who consider it very offensive.
A bun in the oven?
Using that as an idiom for
like
pregnant.
people who are keto or something?
No, that's funny. Gluten-free.
Well, I'm just so excited for your son and daughter-in-law to. It's such a fun phase.
It's the best. And just visiting them and them being so tired.
The baby part is like the worst part but then it just gets better. Like I found the baby.
I love every phase. Every phase. But
I'm like that except for the baby
the
part.
The offensive, there are people, and can't really knock it because I see what they're getting at, but who are offended on behalf of women, or they are women who are offended because you're essentially referring to the woman as a kitchen appliance.
Oh, well, that's okay. Is it? I don't see it as derogatory.
You belong in the kitchen. That whole being.
I was gonna say I love my mix master and the sous vide. I don't know what would you call her? We can jazz it up a bit.
Mix master, jazz it up. It sounds like DJ's name. Mix master, jazz it up. No, I'm just making mention
of it like that.
I'm just making mention of it because it did pop up in research a couple of times that people are like, we're more than just an appliance. Well, we're more. I don't know what the woman rights voice is, but I'm sure I'm making it worse now.
Yeah, whatever it is all not helping.
Anyway, so It was out there. It's offensive. Having said that,
I just
most people
I didn't even hear it until
think
you
it's just a
had to
cute thing.
explain it to me.
Most people think it's just a cute thing. A lot of women actually use it. I went through several
got a little bun in the oven.
YouTube reveal kind of things where the couple or the woman would put a bun in the oven.
Oh, to
make the announcement to like, hey mom, what's in the oven? there's a bun in the oven. Yes, there is. Oh, what?
Right, it's funny.
So it's definitely more appreciated than it is.
I did see an image when I was doing my research of a lady who used that Bob Ross kind of meme that says, where he says like there's
happy little accidents.
Yeah, happy little accidents, and she taped on her like ultrasound pictures.
Oh, that's great.
To tell her, because it was she was 18 and it was like wasn't intended. So I see. It was like, there's only happy little accidents or something like that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so usually it's received quite more on the cute side of euphemisms. So what was I going to say? I had something in my head. Blah, blah, blah. Bun in the oven is like a baby in the womb is where it comes from. So where does it actually come from? This phrase is everywhere you search. It gives a specific indicator of where it comes from, but there's a little bit to be discussed about that. So this phrase is stated to have originated from a novel called Cruel Sea by Nicholas Montserrat, published in 1951. So not that old. So there's a reference to pregnancy.
1950s?
1951.
Oh, I would guess it has to be older than that.
It is and it isn't. So according to my deep research there's no option 2. My deep research, which includes the internet and
more internet,
Google, everybody says it comes from this specific novel, 1951 novel called Cruel Sea. There's a reference to pregnancy as character Bennett says, "I bet you left a bun in the oven, both of you." And then suddenly he turned this is the actual quote. Suddenly he turned a gray-green color and lurched out of the room. They heard him stumbling up the ladder and the clang of the lavatory door behind him. So the phrase literally meant that the couple, after an intimate night, is expecting a child. And then it's said again in the same book, the exact same novel. There's another quote. "Perhaps you have a bun in the oven," said Morley suavely. He raised his eyebrows as he saw Lockhart struggling with laughter. Here Morley is teasing that Lockhart is pregnant. So one book, 2 quotes. But here's where it's like, is that really the originator? So maybe in literature, in its exact form, idiomatically spoken. But Random House Historical Dictionary of American Slang notes that the word oven, it has been used to mean womb or vagina since the 17th century. So the word oven has already existed, and so there was, here I actually wrote down a name, credit where credit is due. Scholar Beryl Rowland described the expression as a colloquial use of an ancient folk metaphor. So it has roots in classical times, but the American speech of bun in an oven is referring to pregnancy.
I just love
just
home baking.
Here.
It's like, it's so delicious and it's such a beautiful.
Have you listened to anything I'm saying, or do you just love home baking?
I'm just thinking
You're just
of
drooling.
fresh bread, a bun in the oven.
I'm telling you the roots of literature, and you're like, man, I could have a bun right now.
Well, you got me going when you started with that list. Man, who doesn't love the smell of fresh baked bread?
How about that overpass not far from here? Goes over Buns Master.
Right. Exactly.
Nobody's speeding over that overpass.
No, they're not. They're
causing accidents. I almost caused the worst accident today. I'm sitting at a red light. I'm just daydreaming. Light turns green. I go forward. Light didn't turn green. The arrow turning lane turned green in both directions. So I just barreled through left turners turning in front of me. Literally, like, one car passed. I'm between car 1 and 2 in the first lane, between car 3 and 4 in the second lane. The whole world is honking. This is the trucker convoy in real life, honking, like, just, and I'm just like, I'm too far. I can't go backwards. So now I'm going as slow as I can, waving,
sorry.
like, I'm so sorry. Anyway, just popped in my head because
wow,
it was bad. Happy little accident. Thankfully, he didn't have one, but that was about as bad as it gets. So to continue with the classical times, the ancient gods such as Zeus were conceived as millers and their consorts as mills. So the human race was the product that they ground and baked on a terrestrial scale. And so man and women performed similar functions. And so it even goes back to like mythology as far as baking. And so there's hints at it, just not the phrase a bun in the oven, which is why Nicholas Masserat.
When I think of like an oven, I think of like, it's kitchen, but like home and like positive things and peace and sanctuary.
Totally.
And, warmth and all of those things. So I just don't know bun in the oven. I'm still sad that I can't say it anymore, or I'm a misogynist pig.
Speaking of baking, I didn't even write this down, but stumbled across it today. You know the nursery rhyme, patty cake, bakers?
Yeah.
So not about a bun, about a cake, but at the end it says, mark it with a T, mark it with a B, put in the oven for baby and me. So I was wondering if that had anything to do with it. But the original was mark it with a T, put in the oven for Tommy and me, and it was written by Thomas.
Yeah, because we always fill in the person's name. So
Yeah.
I could, for M and me, so not that but
So it turns out that the reason that nursery rhyme is said the way it is when it was written, it's much older, I think 1600s than I thought. When it was written, not everybody had an oven. And so people who had ovens would bake beyond their own needs, mark it with their initial to take to a
interesting
place to be sold, so that you were selling your wares next to the ones marked with a T, marked with a whatever.
So people would know. It's like
you
your
put
little
your initials in it
moniker
for the sake of sales, because you were one of the ones with an oven.
This was really good. Who did this? This one was marked
with a B.
Yeah.
Anyway, fun side fact. And last thing, I'll throw this out there. The dictionary also tells us that this exact expression, bun in an oven, is in German, it's in Danish and Italian with same references, same everything. So it's one of those ones that probably just would have come along. But the fact that it's bun, not it's a pizza in the oven. Right. In Italian, it's bun in the oven.
Yeah.
It's not a Kaiser bun in the oven.
For the Germans.
Maybe it is.
Because, they eat hot dogs.
Danish is just a Danish
Germans
in the
eat
oven.
hot dogs without buns.
Actually?
Yeah, they're the worst. Yeah.
I for sure thought that was going to sauerkraut something.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so that's the origins. That's the fun facts of a bun in the oven, and I'm a grandpa.
We are heading into the home stretch here, so let's get on with some riddlings. Good job on them origins.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
You do
that.
fine. Mark it with an M.
Put it in the oven. Well, I was about to say Origins is a game we like to play. Riddling is a game we like to play. It takes a two-part trivia-based question and requires a two-part overlapping answer. So, for example, last week, our episode 162, go check it out. It was a chip on your shoulder. Fascinating stuff. If you missed it, go back. But we left you with this riddling. Holding a grudge, but aged more than earth. So our idiom was chip on your shoulder. I'll give it to you again, see if you can solve it right now. This is my favorite part, because even though it was last week, we just leave it hanging.
Chip on the shoulder than time?
Aged more than the earth. So I was going for a different word. Earthworm, that kind of earth. Earthworms are in the
Ground.
older than dirt.
Older than dirt.
Yeah. So that's how you play. So you got two parts.
Got
chip
it.
on my shoulder, older than dirt. Correct
it.
answer. Chipper than chip on my shoulder than dirt.
Hello. Let's keep it PG-13.
What did I say? I said
Nothing.
chipper.
Nothing. The legitimate children chime in here to make sure to see if you can beat Jurassic Mark.
Cinnamon buns.
I'll
in the
say it twice. This Italian bun taunts a baseball hitter. This Italian bun taunts a baseball hitter.
Well, that's got to be ciabatta bada 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 sa wing bada.
Got you to say it beforehand.
That's funny. The first time I ever heard anybody say
Ciabatta
bada
bada.
bada 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 sa wing bada was Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
a
I've
great
heard it
scene.
at actual ball games. So I
Yeah.
don't know which came first, but
Yeah. Bada 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 swing bada.
all right, I got one for you.
Yep, let's do it.
1 a penny, 2 a penny for Greg Smithy's 1987 Fitness on VHS. You'll get it. 1 a penny, 2 a penny.
Press buttons.
So Greg Smithy, you probably don't know his name, but think of classic 80s VHS fitness on tape.
Buns of Steel.
Yes.
Hot cross buns of steel. That's awesome. That's like Easter Jane Fonda somehow. Okay. I like it. Hot cross buns of steel.
That's it.
Okay, here we go. He produced the Transformers.
Uh-oh.
He produced the Transformers movie with this traditional Polish Jewish bread.
Polish Jewish bread.
He produced the Transformers with this traditional Polish Jewish bread.
I'm going with, I don't even know if he produced Transformers, but I'm just guessing Michael Bagel.
It's Michael Bagel.
Oh, thank goodness.
Good for you. The legitimate children, did you beat him on that one? Michael Bagel.
Because if I was wrong, but still came up with a producer and a bun,
You nailed
that
it.
would've
Great. Oh, yeah, that would have been good.
yeah.
Yeah, because I'd assumed, so I was like, oh, bagel. And I'm like, I think of Jewish and a bagel. And it's like, this
Sure.
traditional Polish whatever. It's like, what?
Wow.
Polish Jewish, apparently.
I used to make my own bagels.
I still do, but I used to as well.
What is that?
Mitch Hedberg.
Mitch Hedberg. Okay, I got one more. Is that it? Are we already at the end? Am I leaving this one?
Yeah, leave this one
Oh,
hanging.
tell us how we can play
You can
along.
reach out to us on Instagram at village.idiom or email us thevillageidiompodcast at gmail.com, or whether it's the Facebooks, the YouTubes, the Twitters, at 3 Minutes Gone.
And if you don't want a bun in the oven, you should get your YouTubes tied.
Hello!
All right, here it is. Dr. Feelgood Band was a novel by Nicholas Montserrat. Dr. Feelgood Band was a novel by Nicholas Montserrat.
And that is 3 minutes gone. Do you know if you don't want to get pregnant,
I don't.
just eat barbecue?
What?
Yeah, you can't because there's too many condiments. Yeah. I'm Skinny,
And I'm Jurassic Mark.
and these are the Village Idioms.
That's 3 minutes gone.